Live Cattle Futures Explained, June 2025, Market Trends. Welcome to your market breakdown. Today, we're tackling a big one, live cattle futures. If you've felt the sting of high beef prices at the grocery store or you're involved in the agricultural industry, this is a market you need to understand. First, we'll give you a quick primer on what live cattle futures are. Then, we'll dive into the powerful and historic trends that have defined the market in June 2025, a month marked by soaring prices and significant market reports. So, what are live cattle futures? Imagine a cattle rancher who will have cattle ready for market in a few months. They're worried prices might drop by then. On the other side, you have a large meat packer who needs to buy cattle in the future and is worried prices might go up. Live cattle futures, traded on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME, are standardized contracts that allow both the rancher and the packer to lock in a price today for the future delivery of cattle. Each contract represents 40,000 pounds of live, slaughter-ready cattle. Traders and investors also use these contracts to speculate on the future direction of cattle prices. The price is quoted in cents per pound, so a price of $220 means $2.20 per pound. Now, let's talk about June 2025. To put it simply, the market has been in a powerful bull run. Prices have surged to near historic highs, with the June futures contract hitting levels around $2.24 per pound early in the month. This isn't a random spike. It's built on a fundamental story that has been years in the making, a classic case of tight supply and relentless demand. The biggest story driving this market is the historically small U.S. cattle herd. We currently have the lowest number of cattle in this country in over 70 years. This started with years of widespread drought across key cattle regions. Poor pasture conditions and soaring feed costs forced many ranchers to sell off parts of their herd, including female cattle that would have produced future calves. Rebuilding a herd is a slow process. It can take years to recover. This supply crunch was confirmed by the USDA's highly anticipated Cattle on Feed report, released on June 20th. Here are the key takeaways from that report for June 1st, 2025. Total cattle on feed, down 1% from last year, sitting at 11.4 million head. Placements. The number of new cattle entering feedlots in May was down a significant 8% compared to 2024. Marketings. The number of cattle sent to slaughter was down 10% from last year. What does this tell us? It's clear evidence that there are fewer cattle available in the supply chain. Fewer cattle being placed in feedlots and fewer being marketed for processing creates intense competition among meat packers to secure the animals they need, which drives up the price. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin. Demand. Despite higher retail prices, American consumer demand for beef has remained remarkably strong, especially as we head into the peak summer grilling season. On top of that, the export market, while seeing some volatility with trade partners like Mexico, continues to be a crucial source of demand for U.S. beef, further tightening the domestic supply available. This strength is reflected in boxed beef prices, the wholesale price of beef, which have been hovering near 5-year highs. This shows that packers are successfully passing the higher cattle costs down the supply chain. So what's the outlook? Market experts are overwhelmingly bullish for the rest of 2025. The supply fundamentals are locked in. You can't create more cattle overnight. While there have been some signs that ranchers are beginning to hold back heifers for herd rebuilding, the effects of that won't be felt for a couple of years. However, a word of caution from analysts. With prices this high, the market is vulnerable to sharp corrections. Any sign of weakening consumer demand or negative economic news could trigger significant sell-offs and volatility. Producers are being advised to use risk management tools to protect themselves against potential downturns. To summarize June's live cattle market, it's a powerful bull market, driven by a historic supply shortage confirmed by the latest USDA data and supported by firm seasonal and export demand. Thanks for joining us for this market breakdown. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into the markets that shape our world.